All Terrain Trails is proudly associated with 4-Wheel Freedom. Your adventure begins here. And a special thanks to Cobra Electronics for supplying communications on this adventure.
My heater died last night at -20. That was just Suzuki up there.
We can really use a winch in this situation. I'm going to try to properly ground this winch out with a jumper cable.
It was a year ago now that my good friend Hawken and I set out on an epic adventure with the goal of completing one of Alberta's most challenging and remote trails in the harsh winter month of February. It was on this trip I was opened up to the possibilities of year-round vehicle-based travel and adventure. Previous to this trip, every year when the temperatures dropped and the snow would fly, that meant it was away with the camping gear until next season. It was on this trip I had used a diesel heater for the first time, and I learned that with the help of proper equipment, winter adventures can be attainable and enjoyable. Canada is a huge place, and to me, it was a shame to only have 7 months of the year to explore it before the cold would set in. With the realization of possible year-round adventures, I set my sights on the purchase of my own diesel heater. To my surprise, I didn't have to look very far because under the Christmas tree this year was my ticket to epic winter camping. Now, a year later, we are gearing up and setting out to once again put ourselves and our vehicles to the test. Join us on this winter adventure, exploring one of Alberta's most rugged and remote highways, Highway 40. With the anticipation of harsh weather and deep snow, I opt to install a winch for insurance purposes. Every winch I have ever installed has needed some sort of modification to fit properly, and this one is no exception. The way the control box is mounted, the winch will not properly fit in the bumper. I need to move the control unit 90 degrees around the drum, then remount it. Disassembly takes place throughout the evening, along with cutting, measuring, and rewiring. By the end of it, I have a new winch wired up, ready to pull us out of a tough situation if needed. I also take this opportunity to grease the driveline of the Troopy and give everything a once-over. It's a good idea now and again to get under your truck and get your hands on things to be sure everything is still where it belongs.
Alright, so this is the first time we're setting up our Vevor diesel heater. We actually have a dedicated 12 volt in the rear of the vehicle that will be running off our dual battery system. And so far, so good. It's really cool because it comes with this remote that you can take up into your tent with you and control the heat. So up or down heat. But all I had to do was fill it up with diesel, turn it on, and now we're getting some hot air. Really cool, guys. I'm super psyched on this diesel heater.
The next morning, Håkan and I meet at the shop before getting on the road west. We are planning on starting off the journey with a scenic and familiar trail just outside of Cochrane. We are also planning to meet a few other friends at the trailhead who will be joining us for the day. Håkan has traded up his older Gladiator to start a fresh build on a new platform. The vehicle he has chosen this time is very similar in many ways to his old Jeep, but this time he has decided to use the diesel platform. The vehicle is primarily stock right now, with only a few choice camping modifications bolted on. Håkan has big plans for this diesel Gladiator, and I'm very excited to watch the build unfold. You can check out the progress on his Instagram page. After meeting friends and adjusting tire pressures, we set our sights on the trail ahead. Conditions and weather are looking great so far, and we're all excited for what's to come. The trail we're on now will take us down and onto an ancient riverbed. Depending on time of year, you can be faced with deep snow, technical water crossings, and unforgiving ice shelves, but are rewarded with magnificent views of a waterfall which freezes over in the winter. Our goal today on day 1 is to make it to the falls, then camp on the riverbed tonight. For the most part, things seem to be going according to plan, other than a few slippery sections of ice at the entrances and exits of water crossings. This section of trail is only open in winter months and will soon close for the summer season. We plan to push further than we have ever been down this trail, in hopes of reaching the end. The trail ends at the border of Banff National Park. The stunning scenery and rugged landscapes never cease to amaze me. We enjoy the afternoon in the presence of good company and a spectacular frozen waterfall before searching for camp for the evening. On the way to camp, I decided it'd be a good idea to test out the new winch by getting myself stuck in a snowdrift. To my disappointment, the winch does not work. With an electrical multimeter, we come to the conclusion that it is not grounded properly and that further wiring will be needed for a better complete circuit. Although this comes as a big disappointment after just installing this winch, it is better to know of the fault now rather than further down the road where we find ourselves in a situation of really needing one.
What a fantastic day on the trail here. Familiar trail to us, but we did explore some new areas of it. We went farther than we normally do, but it was great to see the ice falls. Great to get out with some good friends. Now Hawken and I are going to find a camp spot, and we'll be back on the trail in the morning.
Rolling into camp is a welcome feeling, and I'm looking forward to having a fire, making some food, and testing out the diesel heater for the first time tonight. As the evening wears on, it's soon time to fill the tank of the heater, attach the hose, and settle in for a warm evening in my home away from home. The overall reason I chose the Troopy platform was to provide an internal living space to retreat to at the end of a long day or during inclement weather situations. I spent last spring insulating and building the inside of the vehicle into what I hoped would be a small, comfortable living space. There is still much to be done, and I can't say that the project will ever really be done, but I would say the overall idea has been a success. Morning, everyone. Had a really nice evening at camp last night. The wind picked up into the evening, but overnight it actually died down. So yeah, we had a really nice night at camp. The heater worked great, and today we're gonna make our way north up the Highway 40 here in Alberta and see what we can find up over the next
4 days-ish, kind of exploring along Highway 40 and just seeing what we can find, seeing if we can get into any snow. Come along with us for the journey. Guys, I just wanted to give a big shout out to the guys over at Cobra for supplying me with these radios. Hawken and I have been using them for the past day here. We're going to be using them on the entire trip, and they're waterproof. You can get weather reports on them. You can replay the last message, so in case you missed what your partner said, you have a little button here to replay that message, and they float. So these things are perfect for going out, camping, exploring, doing everything we do. These radios will get the job done. So thanks again to Cobra for sending me these to test out. Ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, you bet. Let's go.
If you're interested in a set of these radios, I'll leave a link in the description where you can pick up a pair for yourself.
So Highway 40 is one of those roads in Alberta that just has so much potential on it for off-road, off-grid, camping, exploring. The road itself, I think, is about 800 kilometers in length, and it goes from the Crow's Nest in southern Alberta all the way up to Grand Prairie, and most of it is gravel. There are some paved sections of it, but most of it is gravel. And not only is the road itself very interesting and very scenic, but there are all of these little offshoots and trails and places to explore along this 800 kilometer road. So really just so much stuff out here to see. You could spend many years exploring Highway 40 and probably still not see everything that it has to offer. Alright, so we turned off Highway 40 now onto another service road, and this should lead us to some pretty epic views down this road. We're going to do a bit of a climb here in a few minutes and get on kind of on top of a mountain. So there's not too much snow out here at the moment. It's just kind of like a dusting everywhere, maybe 6 inches across the ground, a foot in some deeper areas. So interested to see how much snow will be higher up in elevation.
Snow becomes deeper the higher we climb, and with warmer temps, it isn't the nice powder we were hoping for. We push on, but as driving conditions worsen, we are forced to reevaluate numerous times. The peak is only another few kilometers up this trail, and although the snow is heavy and thick, the vehicles seem to be pushing through okay for now.
don't think my winch is properly grounded, so it's not working, but we can really use a winch in this situation. So we're jimmy rigging up a bit of a ground wire here. I'm gonna try to properly ground this winch out with a jumper cable. Moment of truth. Hey, got it! All right, so I've gotten myself turned around on this trail because we're gonna have to go back out the way we came, but this deep snow is really fighting us. Hawken is stuck right now, he's digging himself out, so I'm gonna bring him some more max tracks. Maybe we can build a little road out of here, but it was quite the task trying to turn the troopy around in this stuff.
Despite our best efforts winching, Hawken's Jeep becomes stuck again in the deep, concrete-like snow. It might be time to implement Plan B.
Had to pin her. It's the only way to get out. Speed and power equals lightness.
So we just pulled into this amazing camp spot, Waterfall here. Great day on the trail. We got into some deep snow today. That was a lot of fun. Glad we're at camp now, so we're gonna cook some food, enjoy this waterfall, and that'll be a nice sound to fall asleep to tonight.
So we're starting day 3
We're gonna push over another pretty big mountain pass. I expect it's got to be the same amount of snow as what we saw yesterday where I got stuck. So if it starts to look sketchy, we're gonna turn around, we're gonna take a bypass. But hopefully there's we can make it.
Morning everyone. Another night here in the Troopy done. Just made some coffee this morning. Oh, that's nice. It is cold outside. It's probably -8 degrees Celsius, which, you know, isn't too cold, relatively speaking, but when you go from a nice warm, you know, 18, 19 degree tent to -8, it can be kind of a shocker. I'm gonna cook up some breakfast here, enjoy my coffee, and we're gonna get back on the trail today north. Alright guys, so we made it to the top of this mountain pass here. It's starting to snow pretty heavy up here, which is good to see because we haven't had much snow this year, but we stopped to set up a camera shot, and I stopped on an uphill, and then when I went to start going again, my tires just started sliding, and ours started sliding towards the edge of this shelf road here, so that was a little nerve-wracking, as you can imagine, but all I had to do was kind of just back up a little bit, get back on track, and now we're coming down the other side of this pass. Alright everyone, so we're in a little parking lot here. We are gonna go walk over and check out this big waterfall actually. And I'm interested to see if it's frozen or not, because we were at a frozen waterfall 2 days ago, like you guys saw, but now these waterfalls are gonna be even bigger, so I'm gonna bet that they're probably not frozen. Got to go down a lot of these stairs to get to this viewing platform. I thought that was your Suzuki up there.
I'm gonna
straighten out though, at least, so I'm not coming into it super sideways.
Coincidence can be a funny thing. As we were leaving the waterfall, we run into our good friend Jaden, who's out on his own adventure in his '86 Suzuki Samurai. It's good to catch up and watch as he tackles obstacles the troopy could only dream of.
Hitting my diff on the low part or what?
I think so. Yeah, I think you're just getting your rear is just getting hung up on that.
Smelling a lot of gear oil.
We bid farewell to Jaden and his wife Anna as we set our sights on finding camp. The overnight forecast shows a high of -14 with an estimated 5 to 8 inches of snow.
I think we'll be good.
Oh yeah.
All right. So this is my crib. So we just rolled out of camp. We're back on the main Forest Service Road now, Highway 40, and it is like completely snowed over. It looks like there's been maybe one other truck through here. This morning, it's noon now. Looks like there's been one other truck through here, and there's about maybe 9 inches of fresh snow on the ground. So what should be, you know, a 60 to 80 kilometer an hour road has now been decreased to 40 or 50 because of it's basically like a snowy trail, and that is what is so interesting about this road, this Highway 40, is that the conditions are constantly changing, and in the winter you just never know what you're going to get. We've been on gravel, right? Nothing but gravel, just same as you would see in the summer, and now we're seeing, you know, a foot of fresh snow here, almost a foot of fresh snow in some areas all over this road. So it's just crazy to see the contrast that this road can go through. And you know, you kind of got to be prepared for anything when you're out here traveling in the winter. I've been burning a heck of a lot more fuel than I originally anticipated. I've already burned my main tank. Turkey has 2 tanks, 2 90-liter tanks, and I've already been pushed into my second tank now, and we've gone just about 500 kilometers. So fuel economy is not great, especially in the deep snow and in 4 low and in 4-wheel drive. You just suck through that fuel much faster than you necessarily would if you do the calculations on paper. So I find that interesting. I also have a jerry can, a 20-liter jerry can of diesel that I've been using for the diesel heater. So if need be, I can top up. But we should be rolling into Nordegg here relatively quickly, within the hour, I would say, as long as this road doesn't become too treacherous. But it does look like there was one person ahead of us, which is a good sign. Pack extra fuel. More like I topped up both of my tanks, my main and my auxiliary tank, and a 20-liter jerry. And even I'm getting just a little concerned. Like if something were to happen at this point and we were forced to turn around and go all the way back the way we came, I would be more concerned about fuel. But we are coming up to a town here where we'll be able to refuel and resupply here. But these conditions are just crazy. It's a lot of fun. So it's been progressively getting colder and colder each day and each night. When we started this trip 3 or 4 days ago now, our average temperatures were right at freezing, maybe -5 overnight. And last night was our coldest night, where it was below -14 overnight. Tonight is supposed to be the coldest night so far. The forecast just keeps getting colder and colder into the week. You know, I think the lowest temperatures this week is going to see will be about -25 Celsius. So, I mean, you know, it's getting down there. The trip was definitely, I'm going to say it was nicer to be outside around the -5 range. And -14 to -20 is getting just a little cold for my liking personally. But what do you guys think? What's the coldest temperature you guys have ever camped in? So we just stopped in town here, got some fuel, got a few snacks at the gas station. Man, it felt good to be in a building again, seeing other people. I know it's only been, you know, 3 or 4 days, but it's been cold and winter camping can be tough, right? So it's kind of nice. It is a nice break to be back in a small civilization here. But now we're making our way out to camp. We're back on the highway. We're making our way out to camp on a big lake here. And I'm interested to see about this lake because it drains in the winter. The plan is to go check out this lake, you know, pound the pavement here for not too long actually, maybe 15 minutes. And find a camp spot on that lake, see how high the water level is right now. Hey everyone. So I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what it's like up here in the tent. I have my heater hose blowing nice warm air. It's about 22 degrees I set the heater at. So I just pipe that through one of the windows in the tent, and that keeps it nice and warm up here. Other than that, I just have my sleeping bag and my phone and my charger and all that stuff that, you know, you would bring with you. Tonight it's supposed to get down to about minus 17 Celsius, which is going to be our coldest night yet. It says minus 17, but with the wind chill it will potentially be more. So very thankful for this heater keeping me alive. Yeah, so hopefully we have a good night here. So it's about 6:30 a.m. My heater died last night at minus 20. Woke up and I'm getting no heat out of the hose. I was like, oh no. So I rushed down. That was just a few minutes ago. So I thought my battery died because it was so cold last night. I thought the electric source, I have my dual battery system in the engine bay, just couldn't keep up with the demand. So I went and I rushed down. I started the truck, which just barely started in this cold. Holy man, this thing really struggled to start. And then I checked the fuel tank on the diesel heater and realized it was empty. So I'm thinking it probably just ran out of fuel, out of diesel. And if I would have just topped it up, I could still be sleeping. But now I'm awake, and Hawkins awake too. I woke him up when I started my truck. So
We're gonna get packed up, take the Icefields Parkway back, and hopefully see a nice sunrise on the way. But that was definitely an interesting way to wake up this morning.
Alright, so we got packed up from camp. That was a cold one. Packing up in the cold is hard. Doing anything in the cold is hard. So, glad to be in the nice warm vehicle. This is our last day. I'm making my way home today. Looking forward to a shower and you know, just be inside out of the cold. But for now, I'm going to enjoy the Icefields Parkway here. It's a gorgeous morning. The sun's coming up behind me and it's just painting the sky this very nice pink and orange color, purples. So, just beautiful. Anyway, this is probably where I will wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you want to support us further, please consider checking us out on Patreon. We've got some really cool stuff going on over there. Plus, we also have some stickers, some all-terrain trail stickers. So check those out as well. Anyway, thanks again for watching, guys, and we will see you in the next adventure.
Winter, while feared by some, is a season that should not be hidden from. While logistically different from warmer months, winter poses its own unique set of beauties to behold and lessons to learn. Without experiencing the difficulties of winter, we are less likely to appreciate and enjoy the summer months for what they are. After experiencing the challenges from this trip, I came away feeling an immense sense of gratitude towards the smaller things in life that I would normally have taken for granted. Things like hot running water out of the tap, a permanent furnace that does not need to be set up and taken down every day, and the ease and comfort of life at home. I believe more of us should seek to experience a little more discomfort in our lives from time to time. I believe experiencing the beauty and hardships of winter would make us all a little more grateful for the smaller things in life.